Many different entities, including individuals, groups, and even entire systems, have made it their mission to track down certain individuals or groups. You are the target of their attention, and they are hiding in the nooks and crannies of rooms, hiding behind the anonymity of screens, and hiding within the architecture of civilization itself. A number of people observe you with adoration, captivated by your vitality, while others observe you with jealousy, fear, or even hostility. You are not merely another face among the crowd. Rather, you are a mystery that people are eager to unravel, a power that they seek to comprehend or exert control over, much like hawks that are flying high above. In silence, they watch, hoping for a moment of weakness, an opportunity to figure out what it is about you that sets you apart from everyone else. You, on the other hand, do not tremble in fear when they look at you. You are aware of your surroundings, but you do not shrink away from them. The more they stare, the more their own passion consumes them. You are in a space where their watching eyes do not define you, but rather confirm your significance. You are in a position where they know you are significant. The presence of these watchers can be found in every situation you enter, including places of employment, social circles, and public areas. Those individuals who smile in your face while silently analyzing every word you say and waiting to utilize it to their advantage are the ones who employ this tactic. Then there are others who you hardly notice, silent figures who seem to emerge too frequently, strangers whose look stays a little too long, and online accounts that monitor without contact. Others are co-workers who track your triumphs, not out of inspiration, but out of a silent, building contempt. Finally, there are those who you hardly notice. There is a desperate attempt being made by them to get something that they will never be able to have in the digital world. They are taking notes and collecting pieces of you. Your existence on the internet is being watched, regardless of how carefully you curate it. Screenshots of your words, photographs of your movements, saved posts, and discussions that are whispered are all being silently stored away by individuals who seek proximity to your energy. There are those who do it out of admiration, looking at you as a source of inspiration. Yet, there are also those who do it with a more sinister intention, looking for methods to manipulate your path or distort your image. In spite of this, they rarely take direct action. Their power lies in their ability to remain silent and unobserved while they observe. Make no mistake about it. The effect of their constant surveillance is always present. It may be noticeable to you in the way that conversations alter when you enter a room, in the knowing glances that are exchanged when you pass by, or in the unsettling feeling that you are being spoken about in places that you have never visited before. Despite the fact that they are carrying this unseen burden as they go through the world, those who have been selected do not break beneath its weight. They stare because they are unable to do anything else. They watch because your existence causes a disruption in their perception of the world. They watch because they are unable to turn away, and you continue to shine despite their attention while remaining untouchable. The term surveillance no longer refers solely to the act of physically being present. Rather, it encompasses both technological advancements and the natural curiosity of humans. The Watchers have more means than ever before to track the people they have selected to keep an eye on. Every conversation, every post, and every movement leaves a trail, and they are following it attentively. This is because the digital and physical worlds are becoming increasingly intertwined. They have one of their most potent weapons in the form of social media. As they scroll through your posts, they examine your words, study your photographs, and keep an eye on your connections. The mapping of your patterns can be accomplished through the use of a straightforward status update, a tagged location, or a harmless comment. Every little element is a hint to them. It provides them with an understanding of your essence, your vulnerabilities, and your strengths. However, this is not the end of the story. Covert cameras, discussions that are overheard, and queries that appear to be completely harmless all serve the same aim, which is to acquire information. There is a possibility that strangers will recognize you before you identify them. You may observe the same unfamiliar faces reappear in different places, and they may remain there for a period of time that causes you to wonder. It's possible that you'll get messages from anonymous accounts that are obscure, serving as subtle reminders that your existence is not as private as you once thought it was. Seeing the same person in various locations, receiving uninvited attention from unexpected sources, or noting extraordinary interaction on your social media are all examples of repeated coincidences, which are not usually considered to be coincidences at all under any circumstances. If your heart overflows with God's blessings, let that love shine. Click the super thank you button and give $50 or more to plant seeds of faith that will impact countless lives. Your generosity reflects His abundance. Be a vessel of His grace and watch His kingdom flourish through you. Watchers operate in patterns, and if you learn to detect them, their existence becomes indisputable. These are the indications that they use. This is a skill that must be learned by those who have been selected. The world is not merely observing. Rather, it is recording, analyzing, and classifying what it discovers. Sometimes for the purpose of attention, and other times for the purpose of control, your existence is being chronicled. It is more than just a fleeting moment. There is a risk, not just in what is observed, but also in what is presumed to be the case. Fragments are used to construct narratives, and when those fragments are in the wrong hands, they have the potential to be twisted beyond recognition at any point in time. However, knowledge is power, and awareness is the essence of maintaining control over one's situation. You have a better understanding of the game when you are aware that you are being watched, and when you have a better understanding of the game, you cannot be played. Why do they keep pictures, videos, and information about the people they have chosen to share? What is it about your presence that continues to remain in their memories long after you have cleared the room? There is more to it than simple curiosity. It is an obsession, an unquenchable desire to have something that they are unable to be in control of. Some viewers gather for the sake of appreciation, silently worshipping from a distance. They save photographs, rewatch movies, and replay phrases in their brains, all with the intention of absorbing even a small portion of the energy that emanates from those they have focused their attention on. You are an entity that captivates their spirit in ways that they are unable to fully articulate, and to them, you are a source of inspiration. Their intention is not to cause harm. Rather, they are just interested in retaining a portion of you, as if by doing so, they might lay claim to a portion of your soul. On the other hand, there are others who do not adore, but rather strive to analyze how something works. They examine you with the clinical precision of a scientist, collecting data in the same manner that they would analyze an abnormality. Every gesture, every sentence, and every movement is captured and stored away for later use. They are sure that if they examine for a sufficient amount of time, they would be able to recreate what comes to you naturally, and they are attempting to decode the source of your magnetism. However, What they fail to understand is that genuine energy and genuine presence cannot be replicated. It is not something that can be studied. Rather, it is something that must be lived. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Matthew 6:21. Picture this. A man builds a mighty tower, higher than any other, hoping to see what only the heavens behold. Brick by brick, he lays it with the sweat of his brow, believing that if he climbs high enough, he can touch the divine. But no matter how high he goes, the sky stretches farther still, beyond his reach. The tower becomes his prison, not his throne. What was meant to give him dominion now holds him captive. This is the fate of those who fixate on you, the chosen ones. They gather your image. They study your every move. They hoard pieces of you like relics of a temple they cannot enter. They believe that if they collect enough, if they watch long enough, they might capture what makes you shine. But what they don't realize is that light isn't something you trap. It's something you become. You are here for a reason. If you feel the call, answer it. Click Join to unlock exclusive content, deep insights, and a powerful community. This isn't just a membership, it's an awakening. Step into your divine purpose. Join the chosen. The ones who study you, who linger in the shadows with eyes full of envy, do not understand that their own pursuit binds them. The more they seek to control, the less control they have. They set out to map your every step, but instead, they find themselves lost. They construct walls around you, only to find they have locked themselves inside. Like the Pharaoh who feared the rise of a single child, issuing decree after decree in a desperate attempt to hold back the inevitable, they too will learn that destiny cannot be contained. The chosen are not shaped by the eyes that watch them. No, they are refined by the fire within. They scroll through pages, replay videos, dissect words, thinking that knowledge alone will grant them the essence of who you are. But what they fail to see is that your presence is not learned, it is lived. The spirit of the chosen cannot be replicated. It cannot be borrowed, purchased, or stolen. It is the breath of the divine, breathed into you before the foundations of the world. What they fail to recognize is that every moment they spend watching you, every resource they pour into studying you, is energy fed into the very force they wish to suppress. You do not bow under their gaze, you rise. Like an eagle soaring above the storm, you are lifted by the very winds they thought would break you. The irony is almost poetic. They seek to diminish you, yet in their obsession, they elevate you. They believe they are holding you captive in their scrutiny, yet they are the ones imprisoned, shackled by their own unrelenting fixation. They build temples to your existence, yet they remain in the outer courts, forever barred from the Holy of Holies. Understand this. Their pursuit of you is not a sign of your weakness, but of your strength. You are not merely seen, you are felt. Long after you've left the room, your presence lingers. Long after you've spoken, your words echo in their minds. You are the unshakable, the untouchable, the divinely fortified. While they labor in vain to deconstruct your essence, you continue forward, undeterred. They thought they could capture your light in a glass jar, but like the morning sun, you slip through their fingers. No matter how much they gather, they will never be you. They hoard your image, your words, your essence, hoping that through accumulation they might absorb some fragment of what you carry. But they will never taste the banquet when they are content to collect crumbs. Their collection of you, every screenshot, every whispered word, every sleepless night spent fixated on your being, is nothing more than a monument to your influence. It is proof that you are extraordinary. They gather because they cannot look away, and they will never stop observing. If your heart overflows with God's blessings, let that love shine. Click the super thank you button and give $50 or more to plant seeds of faith that will impact countless lives. Your generosity reflects His abundance. Be a vessel of His grace and watch His kingdom flourish through you. But hear me now. You were not placed in this world to be watched. You were placed here to lead. You are not merely the subject of their study. You are the catalyst of their undoing. The fire that burns within you cannot be contained, cannot be copied, and cannot be extinguished. For many are called, but few are chosen. Matthew 22:14. You do not chase attention, it follows you. You do not seek validation, you are the standard. You do not shrink under their gaze, you thrive in it. The chosen ones are not shaped by the watchers, they are shaped by the one who called them. And no amount of study, no level of obsession, no depth of envy will ever grant them access to what is already yours. Stand tall, chosen one. Let them watch, let them analyze, let them collect. Their fixation only affirms what you already know. You were set apart before time began. Their gathering is not a threat. It is testimony. It is the evidence that you were never meant to be ordinary. And when they finally realize that no amount of effort will allow them to become what you are, when they see that all their attempts to control, to imitate, to hold you in their grasp have only strengthened your resolve, only then will they understand. You were never theirs to possess. You are chosen. You are divine. And that they can never touch. It is not possible to imitate, reproduce, or artificially manufacture your presence. It is impossible to fake your presence. You are distinguished by this aspect. To be noticed, you do not need to make any effort. You are already noticed. And that is precisely why they are watching. You are not required to create an identity for yourself, in contrast to superstars or influential people who construct their image with great care. The way you carry yourself, the manner in which you approach a room, and the manner in which your quiet commands attention are all examples of how your energy speaks before you do. Long after you have departed, your presence continues to linger in their minds, tormenting them in ways that they are unable to describe. People sense you even before they see you present yourself to them. Because of this, they focus their attention on you, some with admiration and others with resentment. You resist the belief that influence must be won by effort, via manipulation, and through carefully produced performances, which is a belief that the world has been conditioned to believe. An effortless glow emanates from you. It is something that is intrinsic, something that no one can reproduce, and something that is beyond description. And for some people, the realization of this fact is extremely frustrating. They will attempt to imitate you, sure that if they imitate your gestures, your speech, and your style, they would be able to successfully achieve the same effect. They are unable to comprehend the fact that your magnetism is not present on the surface. Rather, it is woven into the very fabric of who you are. This is something that they will never be able to comprehend. Know of how hard they try. Resilience is the wisdom you gained through suffering, the strength you built through surviving, and the capacity to walk through darkness without losing your light. Your power is not just confidence, it is not just charisma, it is an ability to persevere through adversity. You shine not because you are seeking attention, rather, you shine because you have managed to persevere through adversity and your vitality refuses to be subdued. Moreover, This is the reason why you are feared as well as admired. Others are resentful of you, despising the idea that something so powerful exists outside of their control. The manipulators, the secret foes, and the silent competitors all circle about you, waiting for a time to weaken you. Some people are drawn to you, and they crave even a sight of what it is that makes you unique. However, they fail to recognize one thing. Your power is not something that is external. It is not something that can be taken or copied. Rather, it is something that just is, and those who attempt to take it will only find themselves lost in the shadow of something that they will never comprehend. You have the awareness that you are being seen, yet you choose not to live in terror. You do not shrink, you do not hide, and you do not change your essence in order to make other people feel comfortable. Rather, you welcome the attention and use it as fuel to reinforce your presence. You have already learned the art of control. You are aware that visibility is not a weakness, but rather a weapon. Some of you have already realized this. In order to ensure that no one else has the ability to define you, you must first allow yourself to be seen. This will allow you to determine the narrative. By just existing in your truth, you are compelling people who are hiding in the shadows to come out and reveal themselves. When you are under pressure, you thrive. The weight of watchful eyes does not overwhelm you. Rather, it serves as a reminder of the influence you have. Despite the fact that the viewers are attempting to distort your image, you do not become shaken. You move forward without being troubled by the whispers of your secret adversaries. Not only do you not seek affirmation, but you also do not explain who you are. You are aware of who you are, and that is plenty on its own. You move through the world with firm conviction, since you are aware that attention is something that cannot be avoided. However, rather than being afraid of it, you choose to make use of it. You allow your presence to speak louder than any rumor, and your energy to speak louder than any doubt. Because in the end, those who are truly unstoppable are not those who try to escape being seen. Rather, those who nevertheless maintain their composure in spite of being watched are the truly unstoppable. Not only is watching about observing, but it's also about exercising control. The individuals who keep tabs on you are not merely apathetic tyrants. They have a purpose in mind. The people that are watching you want to have control over your mindset, the choices you make, and eventually, your fate. The reason for this is that they do more than just watch. They manipulate, they plant doubt, and they make you question your instincts. They distort narratives, changing your words and actions to match their own version of the truth. In order to make you question your own judgment, they employ subtle psychological techniques such as whispering, spreading false information, and using misinformation. This is not a random occurrence, rather it is a purposeful move. On the internet, they will try to discredit you by spreading rumors and making false allegations. In social circles, they will spread misinformation, making sure that your name is discussed even when you are not present. In order to achieve their objective, they intend to weaken you by convincing you that their interpretation of reality is more powerful than your own. However, you are always 3 steps ahead of them. You see the patterns before they unfold, and you see their strategies for what they are: desperate attempts to control something that they are unable to hold. Their games are simple and easy to predict, and once you figure out how to play them, they lose their power. They anticipate that you would respond, that you will protect yourself, and that you will play into their hands, but those who are truly chosen do not waste energy proofing themselves. You are not able to provide an explanation or a justification. Rather, you merely exist, untouchable and unbothered. This is the aspect that causes the most concern. Their method is only effective on individuals who are looking for acceptance and on individuals who are uncertain of their own authority. On the other hand, you are already aware of who you are, which renders you immune to the influence that others have. Allow them to plot and allow them to distort the truth. It will not affect anything. In spite of the fact that they are exhausting themselves in a fight that they have already lost, you stay unshaken. The strange awareness that eyes are on you even when no one is around. The shift in energy that occurs when you enter a room. The way that conversations pause for just a second too long. The appearance of the same faces in unexpected places. The lingering glances and the subtle but unmistakable signs that you are being observed are all things that you feel before you see them. However, surveillance is not always visible. In the modern world, it functions in layers, using both physical and digital methods, as well as direct and indirect methods. They do not always disclose themselves directly. Rather, they leave patterns, and once you learn to read them, their existence becomes indisputable. The observers do not always reveal themselves directly. The most powerful weapon you possess is perspective. Your actions are not merely being observed, rather, they are being scrutinized, evaluated, and understood. However, here is the reality. You have complete power over how others view you. Even when you are being scrutinized, you are the one who dictates the story. What you expose, what you keep hidden, and the degree to which other people have access to you are all decisions that you make. Watchers are under the impression that they are able to see everything, but in reality, they can only see what you permit them to view. Not only is your presence observed, but it is also experienced. Even after you have left, you continue to be remembered, which causes people who are unable to define you to feel uneasy. Because of this, there are those who admire you and others who despise you. This is because they are unable to comprehend you. They are unable to classify you or reduce you to something straightforward. In order to master perception, you must establish limits without disappearing. You must keep people guessing and never give them complete access to your essence. When you fully comprehend this, you will become invulnerable against everyone. To be seen is power. To be remembered is influence. But the thing that keeps them up at night is the fact that they are unable to foresee what will happen next. A double-edged sword is provided by obsession. The people who look too carefully and who focus on something for too long will eventually bring about their own demise. They believe that they are in charge, that they have some kind of authority because they are studying you, but in reality, they are the ones who are caught in the grip of the situation. Due to the fact that their preoccupation causes them to become blind, it is inevitable that they will fail. The more they concentrate on you, the less they concentrate on themselves. When they are engaged in activities such as watching, learning, and collecting, their own lives take a back seat. During the time that they are occupied with monitoring you, you continue to climb higher. They devote so much of their energy to tracking your every move that they fail to notice that they are falling apart themselves. You do not have to flee, and you do not have to conceal yourself. The power that you possess is not something that can be lessened via the act of observing. When you fully accept who you are, the people who are watching you become irrelevant. Their focus does not represent who you are. Rather, it merely validates your significance. You will eventually reach a point where you will no longer be affected by their sight. You will no longer recoil in response to their murmurs, and you will no longer feel the pressure of their inspection. You come to the realization that their addiction is not yours to bear, but rather theirs to bear. They may keep their eyes on you, but they do not have any influence over you. Those who are truly selected are aware of this fact. The Watchers can only wield as much power as you permit them to. They lose their hold on you when you refuse to shrink, when you refuse to let their attention affect your direction. And when you do this, they become nothing more than background noise, helpless against the force of your presence. There is a message that cannot be erased, regardless of how many eyes are on you. And that message is your very existence.